I was astonished when I was recently accused of criticizing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for profiteering from the name of my grandfather. Since it was untrue. Harry and Meghan have never been the targets of my accusations. Instead, I was misquoted, which caused international press coverage to use both my name and the name of my late grandpa, Nelson Mandela, the first president of South Africa, to malign a lady of color. I allegedly accused Harry and Meghan of using my grandfather's heritage for financial gain with their Netflix documentary series Live to Lead, according to an Australian newspaper. According to them, I called it very upsetting and tedious. And I want to correct the record. It's true that I become quite upset anytime Nelson Mandela's name or image is utilized for profit without any regard for the ideals he stood for. Ironically, though, one of the most prominent instances of this occurred when Harry and Meghan were wrongly attacked by their detractors for using my grandfather's name as leverage. Actually, I have a lot of admiration for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle because of their bravery in standing up for others who are less fortunate than themselves, including women, minorities, and vulnerable individuals. I applauded the wonderful collaboration between the Nelson Mandela Foundation and them on Live to Lead, and I rejoice that Harry and Meghan are motivated by the legacy of my grandfather to pursue social activity. The criticism of my comments for quoting my grandfather that was falsely ascribed to me comes from people who spread these lies around the globe, not from me. I'm ashamed to see how my remarks were used to misrepresent my sincere worries about my grandfather's legacy being exploited for profit. People have been selling flyers and T-shirts featuring my grandfather for decades in order to make money without contributing to the causes and ideals he worked so hard to uphold. But it's nothing compared to how a lady of color who was essentially chazzed out of the British royal family had my grandfather's name used against her. How could something like that occur? I think it's because numerous issues with the institution of the crown that would normally go unnoticed have been brought to light by Harry and Meghan's subversive dissent from the established quo, which has symbolic value. I think this is the case because, despite our significant successes over apartheid, colonialism and slavery in some respects, the mentality that gave rise to these crimes remain active within some of our most influential institutions. The same voices that want to cast doubt on Harry and Meghan also want to silence the rest of us who are still fighting for the ideals that my grandfather stood for. According to these voices, it is unacceptable to discuss Britain's role in the transatlantic slave trade, the extent of atrocities committed by the British Empire, or to acknowledge the problems with institutional racism that still exist. Why do they feel such fear? They are concerned that as we speak out more, motivated by my grandfather's unwavering spirit, the hidden crony laws of predatory capitalism and corrupt democracy will be exposed, exposing the pervasive legacies of colonialism, slavery, and apartheid. If my grandfather had been living today, he would not have thought his fight was over. He would continue to struggle. Racial inequality and economic injustice are still present in South Africa as a result of apartheid and colonialism. Despite the end of apartheid, white people still make up less than 8% of the population, yet hold more than 90% of the nation's wealth, while Africans continue to have unemployment rates that are 5 times greater than those of white people.